Well, I think this is the narrative that is out there, so I wanted to give my thoughts on it. That's what I do, is if I see a narrative, I give my opinion, and there's definitely the narrative of were the Eagles lucky to get here, and in certain areas, it's kind of hard to argue with it, right? I mean, definitely when they played, their way to get to the Super Bowl was weak. Playing the Giants, who a lot of people felt like weren't a team that was dominant this season, is fair to say, and kind of maybe weren't as good as their record said. And then they beat the 49ers, who are a very good team, but they had no quarterbacks by the time Philadelphia was playing them. So did they get lucky? Yes, in certain areas, it's hard to argue the contrary that they got lucky, but I want to be clear in saying I think there's a difference between having things go your way and also just being lucky to be here. I think those are two different things. To me, for one thing, every team that wins a Super Bowl at some point has something go their way, right? I mean, you think about the Kansas City Chiefs the year that they won the Super Bowl, they only got the bye week that year because the Patriots lost to the Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Dolphins in week 17, which meant that the Chiefs got into the 2 seed. They end up using that to win the Super Bowl. Maybe they still win it anyway, I don't know, but that certainly gave them a huge boost in their ability to get to the Super Bowl and win it. So luck happens, and injuries happen. Part of winning football games is staying healthy, and that's what the Eagles were, able to do, essentially, at least in this game, and so that's how they were able to make that happen. And again, well, yes, you could sit here and say, oh, Giants and Niners, that's not very good. Well, why was it the Giants, and why wasn't there a first team that they played? Because they got the 1 seed, because they earned the 1 seed, and they didn't earn the 1 seed in a weak division. Now, their strength of schedule, there's like a composite power ranking strength of schedule thing, and that has the Eagles as with the 21st strength of schedule, so not exactly a tough strength of schedule, but not like the weakest one either. They had sort of a below average strength of schedule, but were still able to win the conference, have the best record in their conference, despite the fact that they had to play Dallas twice, and they had 2 games without Gardner Minshew. Now, one of those was against Dallas, which they lost. Another one was with against the Saints, which they lost. So they went 0-2 with their own backup quarterback, but they had their own issues. It's not as bad as the 49ers. I think the better way I would phrase it is probably the 49ers got unlucky more so than the Eagles got lucky. It's definitely fair to say the Eagles have not been really challenged in this run. I think that's not even fair to say. That's just unequivocally true. They have not been challenged yet in this run. But at the same time, putting up 30 points on the 49ers defense is still impressive. Yes, sure, it is fair to say that, okay, 7 of those points happened when you had a short field position. Okay, fine, I'll give you that. To me, it still is impressive what they were able to do. And you look at some of the Eagles' statistics, they're 3rd in offensive EPA and 4th in defensive EPA. They're a complete football team in terms of net points per drive, which means how many, basically, when you have an offensive drive and a defensive drive, how many points per drive do you typically get in that situation? They're very good. They are 3rd best in football in that situation. And net yards per drive, they're 2nd best in football. Now, I think it's also worth mentioning they were favored in this football game. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that the Eagles deserve to be here. I think it's fair to put an asterisk on the 49ers loss, right? I think that's totally reasonable because the 49ers lost their quarterback who had been playing the best football for them of the season. Brock Purdy, well, he was their 3rd string. He was playing like a 1st string quarterback. So losing him, obviously, you put an asterisk on the loss. You say can't really blame the Niners for losing that game. But that doesn't take away from what the Eagles have accomplished this season. This has been an incredible season by the Eagles. They have consistently been the best team in the NFC, and they deserve to go to the Super Bowl. And you better believe they have a great chance at beating whoever they end up playing. So that's just I wanted to give my quick thoughts on that because it's a narrative I'm seeing, which is the Eagles had luck in their Super Bowl run. The Eagles are not lucky to be in the Super Bowl. That's kind of my main point. The 49ers are unlucky, though. They never got a chance to get there. That's kind of how I view it. But again, if you wanted to play the Giants in round 1, you could have gotten the 1 seed. If you got the 1 seed, then you would have been able to have that matchup. The Niners thing is unfortunate, but again, that's the luck of the draw. To me, that's the only one I really look at as like lucky. Playing the Giants, Giants probably play other teams tougher. The Eagles were a great matchup against them as well as being a better team. So I don't know. Basically, I don't think it's fair to discredit the Eagles in any way. They deserve it, and they're not lucky to be here, although they did get a little lucky in certain areas. Every team gets lucky in certain areas. You'll always find scenarios where, every Super Bowl run, you point to one or two things and say, yeah, that was, that worked out, in your favor. When my team won the Super Bowl, the Buccaneers, I still look at that Jared Cook fumble against the Saints as like, yeah, that was, thanks for that, Jared Cook. Thanks for not putting two hands on the ball. Appreciate that. It happens. Sometimes in bigger ways, sometimes in smaller ways. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.